Good timing, or is it going to start back up again? Man, Sydney, you just might be becoming a DJ of sorts because you're just nailing it. Go grab your friends. I'm trying to get my screen situated here. Show me your face this morning. I want to see y'all. LaShawn, I feel like you used to have this like challenge with people where they needed to show their face. While everybody's popping in here, I like the small talk, except for the fact that I talk too much and then I don't get all the chapters covered. There's 4 chapters each week with this book that we're covering, Get Over Your Damn Self. And it is so much information. It's like this book probably needed like 6 weeks to really give it do justice for it. So one thing I will say, the 4th chapter that I was going over, and I was re-listening to the 4th chapter this morning, it like is, as I was reading or listening to it again, I was like, this really is something people need to study. It's 5, 6, 7, 8. It must be chapter 8. Hang on, let me look. She's just not that into you. It's the last chapter of this week's stuff we're covering. You literally need to study that chapter. Like, role play it, study it, go through it. I'm like, should I make a quiz? I should make a quiz on Google Form. And I'm like, Jessica, go build your business. You don't have time to do that. I'm learning myself too. But that's what I was thinking. Like, we really need to understand, practice, and like role play chapter 8 and all the scripts she gives. So Sydney, oh wait, I just went to go look at Sydney and saw Sunshine Green, and I'm like, Sydney, we need to take all of the scripts from chapter 8 and put them in the scripts in our guides because they're so good. Okay, let me back up. Let me get to the chapter 5 where we're supposed to be starting, and then we'll get to the last chapter. And I don't want to not do it any justice because I run out of time. So again, just as a little announcement, in case you weren't with us last week, we have changed things up just a little bit again. And at 8:30, we kind of click over to do some team building stuff and work specifically with our company and our team. So if you're part of, anybody's welcome to it. It may not apply to you. So if you're not with our company or on our team, you may not want to join us, but feel free. So that will be at 8:31 if Jessica doesn't go over.
At 9:01.
I'm sorry, 9:01. You are so right, Julie. I do that in my head all the time, that this goes from 8 to 8:30, but I'm never late. Like, I'm always on time for this. So I don't know why I have it in my head. Well, I guess I'm early because I think it's from 8 to 8:30. Okay, enough of that. So the chapter 5, how I talked my way to 7 figures. I really liked the part in here where she kind of goes through with you. If the ick factor comes from you just not liking people enough to want to talk to everyone you know, everyone you meet, and everyone you get connected to all the time, then I applaud you for being honest with yourself. I'm going to be honest with you. You probably won't build a 7-figure income unless you're some sort of unicorn. But unicorns generally like people, I think. So I would check yourself first and foremost and make some notes and decide, like, if you don't really like talking to people or working with people, or at least communicating in some fashion with some people, it's going to be really, you don't know what the heck what was.
My chat's just typing random stuff. Sorry.
Oh, I was like, did the noise happen? Did a noise occur? Yeah. So if you don't really like doing those things, a couple of things, you can learn those skills, you can try different, but if you really don't like it deep down, network marketing is going to be really hard for you to build a 7-figure income. Now, maybe you're just doing this as a hobby. I kind of believe that that's not true if you're on here with us. But if talking to people and being around people is difficult for you, there's some learning that needs to go on, or maybe some getting honest with yourself, and this is just a hobby. So I like that she goes through that first and foremost. Then she has some really great reach out rules. She's basically saying, I mean, I talked my way to 7 figures is basically because it's all about communication. We call this a contact sport. If you're not contacting people, there's no sport to play. There is nothing to win. There is no goal to achieve. There's nowhere to get. So she talked her way to 7 figures because she had to communicate with enough people to join her product, service, or opportunity and build with her and buy from her. We are selling things. We are a shareable business. We are selling things. So she gives some reach out rules, and I liked these. I'm just going to go over these for this chapter. Don't be attached to the outcome or any one conversation. So those two things, don't be bothered by no, but also don't be bothered by one conversation. Get clarity on those. If you think someone's gonna say no, or they're saying things that are leading to no, don't assume no. Have them tell you no, but don't be bothered by those things. Go back and ask for more details. Like, I have a girl that just keeps ghosting me. We'll get to that in chapter 8. I know she wants this. I know she wants the product. I know she wants to build the business, but for some reason she can't pull that trigger. I'm not taking that as a no. I'm not getting offended by her not responding to me either. I take that off the table. I don't care until you literally yell at me and tell me I'm like, and I've never had this happen, that I'm bugging you to death and you're over it and please stop contacting me. I've never in this many years had anybody say that to me, and I follow up like a champ. I don't get offended by their like no or not answering me stuff. You just take the emotion out of it. It will be so much easier for you. Don't be on the hunt. No one likes to feel hunted. Be a true share person. We tell people all the time, I just share. I'm just sharing a product. I'm just sharing an opportunity. I'm just sharing what I love. Then truly share it and don't hunt people down. There's a difference between, and a lot of it has to do with the verbiage you use and how you follow up. But if you're truly sharing a product, service, or opportunity, you don't need to hunt people down. And there's like this push and pull method that there's use for both of those. We've trained on that in the past. You can Google it. Number 3, stop vomiting. I want to say that vomiting on your prospects is probably one of the worst things and most overdone things that people do, especially when they're newer to this industry. We feel like we have to give them every bit of information to get them to buy a product. We feel like we have to tell them every reason why it worked for us. We have to describe every ingredient and what it does. And we just vomit all over them to the point where they're like, I would never be able to sell that because I cannot learn all of that. That's only one of the bad things that can come from vomiting all over your prospects. There's a lot more. Make it simple. Keep it simple, silly. We're going to use silly because Haas doesn't like we're using the word stupid, which I get. It's not a nice word. Be you, not your upline, not your sideline, not your downline. I think her rule is be authentic. Those are my notes. Be you. No one's going to buy from somebody you are not. So you have to be you and be authentic and be like, why do you use your product, service, or opportunity? And really, why do you? And be honest about that so people can feel that. Number 5, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. And I added kinda. Like, you really can't. If someone is going to buy from you, if someone is going to join you, if they are that right person, you really can't say the wrong thing to them. Kinda. I mean, you could really go overboard and kill the deal. But if you're saying things and someone, if you're thinking you're going over, above, and beyond and saying the wrong things, the person is, it's probably just the wrong person. Maybe they don't like people and they don't want to have to talk to people all the time. So don't worry about, keep it short, simple, and sweet, but don't worry about saying the wrong thing to the right person because the right person is going to join you. Number 6, if you find yourself convincing people, stop it. If you have to go over and above and beyond to try to get them to buy from you, this doesn't mean don't keep following up. It just means if you're in the conversation and you're really trying to tell them that they could do this and you're trying to pump them up and you're trying to show them that they could do this too and they're capable and you believe in them and you're going over and above and beyond, more than likely that person doesn't have it within themselves to pump and motivate themselves. So the minute you go back to working on your business and recruiting more people, they're going to fail because they needed so much just to pull that initial trigger. how will they ever stay motivated along the way? Don't waste your breath and your time. Go find more people to talk to. Throughout these chapters, she talks about filling the funnel, and that we stall ourselves out with filling our funnel because we get stuck on one person trying to bring them into the business, or two people who act like they kind of sort of wanted it. And then they go on your list and your follow-up list, and you kind of think they're going to come into your business. So you just kind of stall out filling your funnel because you got, oh my God, these two rock stars are going to come into my business. So I'm just going to focus all my time and energy on them. You don't even say that to yourself, but you just do it. And so then you're not busy filling your funnel. And so when those people drag this out for 4 months or never join you at all, you stopped filling your funnel. So you stopped the momentum of your own business. I think I got a little sidetracked there. Listen, really listen. Two ears, one mouth. We need to listen more. If you can just keep asking questions and asking questions and asking questions, you are going to be on the right track, because you're going to get all the information that you need. Work from appointment to appointment. We learned about this last month when we were working on the GoPro book. The goal of the appointment is to set the next appointment. Trust me, I don't do it enough, and it works so well. Like, I was doing my homework on this yesterday, and I was also following up with somebody who told me they got their trial over the weekend. And I said, what I do a lot is, great, let me know how it goes when you start it. Stop it. That's so bad. I'm supposed to be setting the appointment for the next appointment. So what I did yesterday, because I was doing my homework and it was fresh in my brain, was reach back out to her and said, oh, I'm so excited for you to start tomorrow. I'm going to follow up with you mid-morning. Is that a good time? And she responded, yes. Great. Talk to you tomorrow morning. Now she's expecting me to follow up with her. I'm not waiting until Thursday to find out, oh yeah, she kind of started to try it on Tuesday, but I didn't even know she was trying it on Tuesdays and never followed up with her till Thursday. She's already 3 days into this and had a bad experience, and I forgot to go back and follow up with her. Set the appointment at the appointment. That's the goal. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched. You'll get caught up. You'll stop filling your funnel. That goes back to what I was just saying. Lead with the business, default to the products. Now, the company I'm with tells you to lead with the products, default to the business. So you have to do what's comfortable for you. I'm just going to leave it at that, because everybody feels a little bit differently on what they like to present first. Don't leave rambling voicemails or voice clips. Get to the point, set the appointment, have them follow up with you so that you can get on the phone with them live, and you're not just giving them and vomiting them all the stuff in their voice clips. And hey, I love voice clips. I use them a lot to save time. Shut your mouths, doggies, before I make your soup into soup. So that's distracting. Don't leave rambling voicemails. Oh, I was just getting ready to say voice clips. I'd use them all the time. However, there's times where people leave me voice clips and I have to wait until like 3 hours from where I'm at to listen to it, because I might not be in a situation where I can play it. I don't have my AirPods with me. I'm not in the car. I'm in an appointment. So I can't play the voice clip and listen to it right then and there. I can't be on my phone. So I have to wait like 3 hours to listen to it until I'm to a position where I can. And then guess what? I might have forgotten about it. I closed the message. I moved on. Don't forget the value of typing out a quick, short message. Yes, the voice clips are great for sharing your passion and letting them hear the energy in your voice, but don't be surprised if people don't listen to your voice clip and forget to go back and listen to them. So if you leave a voice clip like that and you haven't heard from them, follow up with them again later that day and just be like, hey, I just wanted to bump this in case you didn't get a chance to listen to my voice clip. Don't ramble on them. Lead with what's in it for them. Always, when you're having conversations, this is a part you really need to go back and read more. She goes in depth in this, and I'm not going to, or I'll never get through all the chapters. But lead with what's in it for them. A lot of times we are talking about us in a situation, and we do want to tell our experience, but we want to make sure that they understand that we are trying to solve their problems. We're here for them. This is about them and not us. We have a tendency to tell and vomit our experience with the product, service, or opportunity and not really make it about them. And this is where asking more questions comes into play. The more questions you're asking, the more you know about what they need, the better you can solve their problems, the more you can make it about them, right? Instead of about yourself. If it's a no to the business, ask for referrals. I know that people hear no, and then they go with their tail between their legs, running off to the little corner to lick their wounds. because they heard no. You can't stop it. No, that's fine. No, great. Do you know anybody who could use this? Do you know anybody who would be really great at this opportunity or could really use this opportunity right now? Chances are, especially in the economy we have right now, people know people who are out of a job and need something new. The product that we sell, I know a lot of people need. So just because it might not be for that person doesn't mean that they don't have 5 friends that could be for. We need to ask. Or that lead just ended into a dead end and we're done. Cooper has a bug up his butt today. Don't end the conversation without talking about becoming your customer. She's got some really good scripts on that in chapter 8 too. So I would highly recommend really digging into chapter 8. Okay. She's interested. Now what is the next chapter? Or he's interested. Now what? I know she really refers to the female a lot in here. So sorry, Haas and Mike. I'm scanning. Is there any other men on here this morning? She's interested. Now what? The 3-way call, the 3-way Zoom. Those work. The third-party validation works so much. I don't care how much technology moves forward. Third-party validation in some way, shape, or form, it's what needs to happen next. You need to bring the expert in. The expert. You need to bring somebody in that might be able to tell the story just a little bit differently. And I will always remind that third-party validation does not mean that that person knows more than you. But to your prospect, they need to seem like they do. You need to validate them and highlight them and make them look like the expert. Because what you need to show your prospect is when they come in, they're going to have somebody to do that for them too. They don't have to do it on their own because you're not doing it on your own. We duplicate what we see and what we're put into in the process. So third-party validation is so valuable. She's interested. Now what? Don't stall. Don't put it off. I know you're busy. If you can't get to bringing that person into the business or getting their order, grab your upline, grab someone on your team to help you close that deal and finish it off. Because if you don't have time till Wednesday and it's Monday, you're going to lose that person. When their interest is piqued and their excitement is there, you have to capitalize on it then. Don't stall. She's interested. Now what? Act quick. She's interested. Now what? Don't vomit. You may talk them out of it. Stop, get the order, get them in the system, do whatever the next step is. Speaking of 3-way calls, I wanted to point out, she gives 3 reasons why calls go bad. They're too long. I've made this mistake. They go too long. The prospect doesn't really want to be on the phone that long. It's hard to get them on anyways. So try to make them 15 to 25 minutes max and be off. Set the time up front. Like I now send out, because I try to get everybody on Zoom. I want them to see me. I want to be able to share a screen to show them something if I have to really fast. And I want to be able to talk and I want them to hear all the passion in my voice. So I try to schedule Zooms now for 3-way validation and I set appointments. So I get my person who's asking, my promoter who's asking me for the call. I get her email or his email and I ask them to get the prospect's email. And I schedule in my Google Calendar with a Zoom invite a 30-minute or less time frame. So they already know this is going to be a 30-minute or less call, and I don't go over now. I try to keep them shorter than that. Unless for some reason the prospect has like a million gajillion great questions and this is going somewhere phenomenal, then you want to keep going. Sorry, too long. Call wasn't set up correctly. So when you are setting up a 3-way call, you want to make sure that you have let your upline know exactly what the person is interested in and how they want to get started possibly and details about them. And then to your prospect, you want to make sure that you've introduced your upline appropriately as the expert in the situation. I will add one in here that you need to zip it. You invited the expert on, now you need to zip it. Your prospect has already heard from you. I think one of the top reasons a call can go bad is because you didn't zip it. And then the third one she gives is the upline doesn't fact find, doesn't ask the right questions during that call to find out what's going on and what they need. All right, chapter 7 is, well, I got a lot of notes on chapter 7, but I'm not going to go through all of them. I object. It's really about handling objections. And again, this is something you really just you should read if you haven't yet. There's some really basic, like all-time true objections that are almost always going to happen. They're the same list. They've always been, they'll still be, they always will. I don't have time, or I don't have enough time. I don't have money, or I don't have enough money. I don't want to bother my friends and family. I don't know enough people. I'm not a salesperson. The timing isn't right for me, which kind of just goes back to time. And is this a pyramid scheme? Now, will there be some other objections you hear? Yes. But if you can just get really good at handling those top objectives, you're going to be doing really well. So again, get with your team, get with a few people on your team and do some role playing. I will forward you to the book right now, Exactly What to Say, The Magic Words for Influence and Impact by Phil M. Jones. Get the book. It's short and sweet. Read it. I have, I kind of went through the book a while back and like wrote down all of the little phrases he has and put some meat behind it. I've posted that in our guides in our team page, but we can also post it in High Vibe Tribe. But he goes through like, it's just like the if I would you kind of statements. How open-minded are you? I'm not sure if this is for you, but just imagine. How would you feel if? There's so many things. Can I copy all of this and put it in the chat? It's a lot. Let me see if I can copy the whole thing. Hang on. And this isn't all of them. The best thing to do is go grab this book. Oh, you said just the book, but I already copied it all. So, oh yeah, I don't think it's going to copy all of that. It won't let me. Let me just grab the title of the book. It's not even letting me copy it. Okay, someone else is going to have to do it. So I can keep going, or I will get it to you later. Thank you, Sunshine. Or maybe that was Sydney. I never know. Okay. Last chapter. Trying to get through these quickly because I don't want to run out of time. She's just not that into you. Again, this is a chapter that I really like. There was not any way to sum this up quickly and do it justice. So that's why I keep saying, go back and study this chapter, take some notes. And she does a lot of like scripts in here and you can role play. First and foremost, let go of the fear of losing what you don't have. I think we get all caught up in caring a little bit too much in the process. And we stall out, we stall out our funnel because we, like I said in the beginning, we start to get these prospects, and it really made me do a like mental check on it this morning. We're working on Trello. We're putting everybody into our boards. There's people that I've had on my follow-up list for way too long. We need to just move them through the funnel and get a yes or a no. And then if it's a no, we get referrals, or at least we try to. I think sometimes we leave people in our funnel because we're afraid for them to actually say no and be done with them. We keep this like little thing dangling out there, hoping that they're going to say yes at a certain point. So we don't want to really move them out of the funnel. But in all reality, that kind of blocks you from filling more people in the funnel because you think you have, subconsciously, you think you have these people who are going to join you just sitting there dangling, but they're not, or they might not. So you really need to work on going and filling the funnel. However, that kind of keeps a roadblock in there for you mentally. Are you asking enough questions and solving enough problems for these people? Why are they stuck in your funnel? Why aren't they moving forward? She really takes you through this chapter trying to figure that out for each one of those people. So that's why I said, if you read this chapter, take some notes, read the chapter again, and then pull out your list of people who've been sitting in your funnel for a while and haven't made a decision, haven't pulled the trigger, and start going through a checklist. That's why I kind of think I was going with the Google form earlier. I kind of want to go back through here and make a checklist for our team and be like, okay, if this person's been stuck in your funnel for a while, ask this, then do this, and this, and then go here, 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 and here. And then if the answer is no, do this, and this. Because I think people get stuck with these people in their funnel and they don't do anything with them and they just dangle out there, especially if you've given them a trial or a sample of your product or service or opportunity. And then if you can't get someone on a 3-way call, I think I wanted to read this part to you guys. Okay. If you can't get someone on a 3-way call, she's like, instead of just saying, okay, when they're like, no, or they don't answer you about it, you should ask some questions. So these are so valuable. So you feel that you have all the information that you need at this time to decide if this is a good fit for you? Because if they don't want to get on a call, they must already know everything. They probably don't. They just don't want to get on the call. It's all reality, right? If she says yes, then let's wave our hand in the air and shout whoop whoop, because it's easy to segue into a closing conversation. Then she has all the information she needs. That's terrific, Mary. It sounds like you're ready to start building your own turnkey business so you can pay for all your kids' activities and have some leftover. She's using things she already knows because she asked a lot of questions and she already knows why Mary needs this business. Some leftover, and you won't have to ask your husband permission when you want to have your spa days or whatever you learned. Her reasons might be for needing to join this business or opportunity with you. If she is, you get her enrolled. If she says no, then keep asking questions. So you ask her, you must already have all the answers to the questions that you have. And she says no. Okay. So what more information do you need in order to make a decision? If she responds with, I don't know, then you're able to say, this is why I think we should get on a call with my expert. Don't say upline. Sounds so pyramidish-y, okay? But you get my point. Go back through this chapter. She literally gives you like, if you do this and if this happens, then you do this. And that's why I almost think this could be turned into like a flow sheet of some sort when I have some free time on my hands. Maybe I'll make one because I think this is really powerful and people get stuck at this point in their business and just don't know how to move forward with that whole list. This is kind of why I wanted to start. Well, it's one of the 10 top reasons why I wanted to start this funnel through Trello for everybody, because I don't think people realize how many people really end up in the graveyard of the follow-up that don't actually get followed up with because they are stuck in their head and scared to hear them actually say no. So they just leave them in this pile mentally in their brain, or this pile of sticky notes, or this lists and lists and lists and notebooks 5 years later, people they never went back to. Trello kind of gives you a visual every single day when you log in there of who's still sitting in that list and who's still sitting in that pile and who you need to work through the rest of the system. They sit there because you don't understand the skill set yet of how to get them out of that phase. But that's where most of the people you've contacted about your business opportunity or service or product or whatever, that's where most of your people sit, is in the graveyard. So we need to get them out of the graveyard. No one wants to sit there. But learning the skills to get them out is what is going to move your business to the next level. So I found that these 4 chapters really went well together. Not all of them do in this book, the way we have them broken down, because we just needed to do 4, 4, and 4, but ended with chapter, whatever that was, 8, I think. And it was so powerful. It like really explains what you need to do to move those prospects forward. So if you feel stuck and you feel like you have a lot of people that you've contacted in the past, and you're like, man, what happened to Bobby Sue? She's probably sitting in the graveyard. First of all, we need to get them all into Trello so that we can organize you. That's my business strategy coaching tip. If you haven't started a Trello board yet to follow up with and keep track of all your prospects, highly recommend you do. We've got the template already created for you if you're with our company. If you're not, you can still use the template and just delete out what doesn't work for you. Just have somewhere to start with, or just take a peek at it and you can build one for yourself. And then start working through those. And if there's things where you're finding people are piling up in that flow, address the problem of where it's piling up, because that's where you're uncomfortable and you're stuck in your business. It's a really great visual to see where you're stuck. Is everybody sitting in the top 100 list? It means because you're not even contacting or inviting them in the first place. Are they all sitting in contact and invited? It's because you reached out to them, you contacted them, you invited them to something, and then you never followed up with them. You didn't push them over the edge to sample your product or whatever the next step is for your business. Are they all sitting in the sampled category? Is that because you sent out a bunch of samples and you never followed up with them? Are they all piling up in the follow-up category because you don't know how to move them out of there? You don't know exactly what to say? So you can really get a visual of where you're getting stuck in your business if you start tracking everything this way. So we are going to, oh my God, can you believe it? You guys have covered 4 chapters, exactly 9 o'clock, and I am ready to move on. I'm a little parched, so I'm going to take a drink of water while we